Hi everyone, my name is Kara Victorson. I'm with Unique. I wanted to kind of share with you today how you can use Google Plus to host your parties and your events for your business. I've just started to play around with it, but I found a lot of really great tools with it. So the page that you see now is my home Google Plus page in general. What you'll notice as well is if you kind of mouse over the side, you'll have a profile page as well, similar to your Facebook profile page, whereas the home page is similar to your Facebook feed. Profile page, you can change your profile photo, you can change that cover photo, and this is kind of basically all the different posts that you have done and people that you've added to your different circles. So what I want to show you is the events today. And if needed, I can show a different separate Google Plus one. But for the events, you kind of mouse over that same side bar and go down to events. What you want to do is you actually want to plan a hangout if you're planning on doing an online party. Creating an event is more of an offline, like at home kind of a party. So you would plan a hangout, and what you have here is kind of similar to what you would see on Facebook. You can change the theme. Now the theme is similar to that cover photo in Facebook parties, except for the cover photos that we use in Facebook parties are actually not large enough for the themes in Google Plus. So what I ended up doing was using my grab it or snipping tool to kind of get a picture in order to fit, and you'll see that picture in a minute. So you can choose some stuff that's already here, or you can upload one from your computer. Okay. Once you have that, you can give it some kind of a title. Choose the day, choose the time. Anything you kind of want to write a blurb, you know, hey, this is going to be an amazing, fun party. Come in, invite your friends, have fun tonight. And then this is basically telling you that this is going to be online. And then to send out invites, what you do is you click here and you can choose any of your circles that you've added people to. Circles are similar to different friend groups on Facebook. And you would click on that and they would basically show up in there. And then you can hit just the regular invite. Right. One amazing thing that Google Plus has kind of throughout this whole process is different places where you can get help information. So example, you can see Hangouts here. If I click on Hangouts, what you're going to see is this is actually going to pop up a support page giving you all these different information of how you can do different types of Hangouts and what you need to do, where you'll find that in your computer. So basically step-by-step help on that, which is awesome. So I'm going to cancel this one. And I'm going to actually click on the event that I created just to kind of play around with Google Plus the other day. So this picture that I have here is what I grabbed with the snipping tool. Now some of you might notice this is kind of extending over into my screen. So if I go and I click on this little Hangout tab, it kind of shrinks that side and makes the main screen bigger. So parties with Google are very similar. You know, you can say something, but what I've noticed is if you say just some kind of a comment, some kind of a word, like, hey, come check this out, and I share it, right? Well, normally it would pop up right away on Facebook. Here, there's a little bit of a lag. It's not a huge lag, but enough that you might kind of freak out, like, what happened to it? Is it going to show up? That kind of a thing. And it will show up in just a minute. What you'll notice is, there it is. So if you kind of mouse over it, you'll see this little +1 that's similar to the Facebook like. Okay? So I want to +1 this comment, I like it. But what you'll notice is I don't have an option to actually comment just on this comment. Okay? What you're going to have to do is if you want people to be able to comment on it, you're going to actually have to add a picture. You can upload pictures from your computer, which is kind of typically what I do with Facebook. But what I actually like is I can click on photos, and this is any photos I've actually added to my Google Plus account ever, so I can kind of have them all in one spot instead of having to keep downloading stuff and uploading from my computer. So I'm going to add this one. if you wanted right away, you could tag people in it, but there's an easier way later on. So here I've got this photo, and again, if you kind of scroll down, you'll see this little +1 to like, so I like this post, but I can also then comment on it and say like, wow, what is this amazing magic mascara about? Okay. And I can post my comment. Okay. And again, similar to Facebook, if you mouse over, you can like the comments and all of that. Now, one of the things that's different than Facebook is if you +1 or if you like something, it doesn't pop up to the top of the feed. So here I have just a picture. This is actually my profile picture for Google+. So say I +1 this and say like, amazing color. Okay, and I post the comment. What you're not going to see is you're not going to see this actually move up in your feed. It's going to stay where it is. So one suggestion I have for that is numbering your posts so that you can find them easier, so customers can find them easier, and so you can actually reference them a little bit better. The other common thing that I know I like to do, and a lot of people like to do, is add several photos at a time. And I want to show you what that ends up looking like on Google+, because it ends up looking different. So I want to do, say, a couple of these different photos all in the same post. So I click on all of them, I add. I'm going to skip tagging because I'll show you how to do that in an easier way. Okay. Now typically on Facebook they would all show up side by side, and you would see them all. But what happens on Google+ is they each show up, but they show up separately. So that's just something to be aware of. So instead of having 4 pictures that kind of create themselves as smaller in that same post, they show up as larger pictures on top, and so you can still +1. So if you have a picture and you want to tag it, this is the easier way than that original screen that popped up. You can click on your picture. It pops up into a larger picture, and what you're going to notice is a little toolbar on top. So you can tag people in this, and you just have to click anywhere, and you can type in that person's name and click on it. Okay, boom, they're tagged, and you can just click done. Okay, and then you just X out of the photo to get back to your event page. So again, just as a heads up on that. What I do like is that you can go in, and if you have this little down arrow, you can delete your photo if you want. You could also view your post activity. And what this is going to do is this is going to kind of show you who has +1'd your post or liked it, who has commented on it. And so that's kind of really nice. Another thing, let me get down to a spot where I had comments on it, is you are able to edit. So anytime you're kind of adding some kind of words to something, you can edit it, you can delete it, which is good because I'm kind of notorious for having words smushed together or misspelling something on accident because I'm typing too fast. So that's pretty awesome. A good thing about Google Plus is that it is private, so it's only people that you've invited that will see it. And what you can do to kind of decide what your settings are is under details here. So you can have guests can comment. I would always leave that on there. What I noticed is if I don't have that on there, I couldn't even write just word comments, so I would always leave that on there. But guests can invite other people. Again, that's up to you or up to your hostess or host. And guests can add photos, again, up to you. Managing the guest list, I'm going to show you what that looks like in another party that I have set up here. But what you can also do is you can always go back and edit your event. So if you want to change something, you can always do that. And that's something that I think is really great. Amazing thing about this as well, with Facebook events, not groups, but events, you would always have to kind of change that date. You don't have to do that with Google Plus events. It will stay on there until you actually delete that entire event, which is kind of awesome. And all of your photos will also show up to the side here. So if somebody kind of wants to just find photos fast, they would be able to do that by just clicking on View Photos. Okay. One thing that I wanted to show you as well was another plus side to the Hangouts, and I haven't figured out how I would use this just yet. But what you can do is you can actually have a video conference kind of call with these Hangouts, and with that, you would actually end up being able to see people, talk to people. You can also chat on this video conference call. I'm going to show you this in another event as well because I think you'll be able to see it a little better. So I want to go to my other event where I actually have people invited to, so you can kind of see how it looks a little bit differently. So if I want to send a message to people like, hey, come check this out right now or something, I can type something in like, amazing deal. And then I can decide, okay, who do I want to send this message to? Do I want to send it to people who haven't responded yet? Yes, people who have said yes or maybe. And that's an amazing thing about Google Plus, is that you can actually still stay in contact and get posts to people who haven't responded yet. So it's not as exclusive as Facebook events, which I think is kind of awesome. So then here, if I go back to where I was on the other one and I say I want to manage my guest list, say for some reason I wanted to add somebody, or what you notice is I kind of had a couple guys on here that I forgot were in my friends list, and so I actually just kind of quickly removed them just so they wouldn't get annoyed with me just by clicking this X. Or if I wanted to add somebody that showed that I didn't, you can always add them back, which is a good thing. So then if I click on my Hangouts on this one, which is where I was before for that video conference, again, everything takes a little bit of a lag time on Google+, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. So what you have here is you have your Hangout, and you'll see, oh, there I am. I'm the first one to join the call. And of course, I didn't plan on showing myself, so I didn't do my makeup, but that's okay. So if I join, okay, so then it's just me right now. I joined. I can invite other people if they want to do it. And then what I can also do is add in comments. So we can also kind of chat as I'm kind of explaining things or showing things, and everybody else would pop up as well. So I think that's just kind of a cool feature that I actually kind of want to try out for some parties, because I think it would be an easy way to show people how to put on the pigments, how to put on your eyeliner, how do I actually put on my mascara, and how long does it take. I think that would be a great thing to do, so that's something that I definitely want to try with that. So one thing that you're going to notice is that wondering where are these notifications? When do you get notifications when people +1 or like or comment? And what you'll notice is the top of the screen here where that number 2 is, that's where you're going to get these notifications. And so if you click on that, okay, and some of these notifications are just from my Google profile, not from this event, but you'll notice it shows you who said it, who commented, who +1'd it. So that's where you're going to get your comments. That's also where your guests are going to get their comments, or if you post a new post. The other great thing is that if you are somebody that checks your email a lot, it will actually also pop up in your email, where you can see these are all my Google Plus comments where either people have responded to something I've posted or responded to a like that I've done, and it basically puts it all in there, which is kind of awesome. So again, just a lot of great things. It's similar to Facebook, but I think it's got some things that Facebook doesn't, and I think we'll eventually be able to reach some more people on Google+. It's a little bit easier to add new people to your circles than it is to necessarily, because they don't have to necessarily approve you adding them to your circle, which is kind of nice. Just checking on my notes here to make sure that there's nothing else that I really wanted to share with everybody. I think this is going to be an amazing tool. I'm actually really excited to use it. You can share your event here. So say you want to share it with some people or with a group that you've joined, you can do that. you know, you always want to kind of +1 things that's similar to your like on Facebook. Always do that +1 because it's going to kind of help it to show up a little bit more. So that's always a good thing to try. And I think that's most of what I wanted to share with you guys today. I would say just kind of get into Google Plus, you know, kind of mess around with it, see if you have any questions, please feel free to find me, to contact me, and I'll try to do the best I can. I'm still kind of trying to figure out some of the little nuances myself as well, but I'm happy to kind of help you with that. One of the main things that I would say just with your Google Plus in general, so if I kind of go back to my profile page, I'll show you this. When you're adding things to your profile that you're wanting to share with people, you're going to really want to use hashtags a lot. I mean, hashtags are your best friend here, because if you notice, I have some posts and I used a couple hashtags and I got, you know, a couple +1s, only about 3. And that's kind of what I like to do. You can kind of see how many people liked it. But then what I did is I did a little test. Let me scroll down where I posted my transformation picture. And what I did is I put a couple hashtags up in my comments, or in my first post, and then in the comment section I actually copied and pasted the hashtags I use in Instagram. And as soon as I did that, I got so many more +1s. So those are really your best friend. If you're not sure what hashtags to use, you know, Google it, ask people. I think there's even a couple files in our Lash Authority docs that you can use. So do that. That's seriously your best friend. You're not going to regret it. So you notice I don't have a +1 here. I'm going to add that on. So I hope you ladies have just an amazing day. Check out Google Plus. I think it's going to be awesome. And please let me know any questions you have. And I'll try to do a separate Google Plus profile and kind of getting into it training as well. Have a wonderful day.